Hi.
Hello.
How
How
you
are you?
doing? I'm good.
Good.
How are you there, girlfriendly?
Good. Still got
Yeah?
a little something going on. I don't know if it's allergies, cold,
Oh, it's
coughing.
got to be allergies. I mean, everybody I know, I'm using the Flonase like a cocaine addict. I'm like, you know, if anybody hears me, I mean, my house, but it's like, it's horrible, but it works. So that's the good
Yeah.
part. But
Yeah.
it was almost 80 degrees here today. 80
Ooh.
degrees. And
It's
it was nice.
82 today.
But I was sweating. I mean, because,
Yeah.
well, you've lived on Long Island. Okay, it's really chilly in the morning. Okay, I'm going to layer it up. So I'm walking the dog. I'm like, oh my God, I'm taking
Maybe
off.
it's the menopause kicking in.
Menopause, menopause left me a long time ago.
I know. I
I'm
know.
postmenopausal. Post, yeah, I'm a posty. I'm a posty. You're a pre. You're a
Yeah.
pre.
Hi, Karen.
Hi, Karen. How you doing? But I want to talk about something today. And I am incensed about this. I am totally incensed. Okay. Billy Joel last night,
Did
concert
you
on
watch it?
CBS. Yes. And it was great. And of
Yes.
course, what's his most favorite song, Lise? What's the most favorite song? Come on.
Either Piano Man or the Italian restaurant.
Okay. Piano Man, last song, right? It's Madison Square Garden. The place is lit up. People are singing. They're carrying on. He's singing Piano Man. Sing us a song. Yes. And everybody, and the camera's going over the audience and
Mhm.
everybody's smiling. They have drinks. They're having a good time. And CBS News cuts in, cuts in and Piano Man doesn't get finished. And they go right to the news.
Oh, I
And
didn't get that on. It finished. I even
well,
videotaped every song that
it
I.
finished for you guys, but for up here, it didn't finish. So everybody I talked to that was watching it, I'm getting texts. What the? I said, I know, and we're all very upset. So there was such a backlash that for those of you who don't know, they're going to re-air his concert Friday night, the 19th. Um, I think from 9 o'clock, 9 to 11, because so many people were mad that
That's
they cut
great.
him off. And especially now, I'm thinking CBS. Hi, Yvonne. CBS, New York, should know that Billy Joel and the Piano Man go together like apple pie and baseball or whatever.
Yeah.
I was
Well,
really, and
all of us.
yes.
Let me tell you, we stumbled upon it by accident.
Oh my gosh, it was
We were going to
good.
bed and then we
Oh,
saw it, and then I don't know how far into the concert we stumbled upon it. I was videotaping it. I was singing. I was like, "Oh my
yeah,
god." And then I posted, a couple of people posted that the tickets are like crazy crazy expensive. And I'm like,
yeah.
"How expensive could they be?" The tickets. Well, they are they're a little up there. I mean, I think the cheapest for 2 tickets, not that I'd be able to go.
Hmm.
2 tickets is for 2 people, it's like 458, I think was
No,
the on the cheap end. No, I
that's
screenshotted it.
ridiculous. Well, that's
And then
ridiculous.
like over 1,000.
No,
I'm like, all right,
no. I'm a big Billy Joel fan, but after a while, come on. But anyway, hi Denise, hi Mary,
Hi
hi
guys.
Yvonne, hi everybody. Women's intuition, huh? Okay, question for everybody, and I want everybody to share tonight because I think this is very interesting. We all have it. At times, we've really trusted it. And at times we said, yeah, no. And what has happened? So, my question to you guys tonight, because I'm very guilty of this, is how many times have we made stupid choices against our better judgment, where there's a little ding, 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 ding in the back of your head going, don't do this, don't do this. No, it's a
Yep.
bad idea, it's a bad idea, it's a bad idea. And you've done
Yep.
it anyway. Raise your hands. Okay, I'm assuming all you're raising your hands too. So, okay. So, all right, what's your story? Do you have a story, Lisa? Because I have a story. Do you have a story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um an agent, bringing an agent on
Okay. Can
under
you tell me
us.
more? Okay.
Um Delicately.
Yeah.
Um you know going in, it's going to be an issue, it's going to be a problem, you're going to regret it.
Mhm.
You make the decision based on, oh, but this person, they have a family, they have young children, they're really doing their best, blah blah blah. And then there's that voice, it's going to be a mistake, it's going to be a problem, we're going to have nothing but a nightmare.
Mhm.
And that is what happened.
Okay.
So a couple of times with agents,
Okay. Mhm.
especially the last one. I was thinking about this
Oh.
earlier. I'm like, I, I'm thinking about all the time. I mean, I guess you have intuition. It's on a constant, you know.
Yeah, it's
Being an
always there.
empath and being an
Mhm.
empath, if you are familiar with being an empath, you are an empath, or you're just familiar with empath people, it kind of goes hand in hand with intuition.
Well, empathic people are people that can feel others' emotions,
Yep.
right?
I-
Yeah.
Yep. It is. Empaths are individuals who are highly attuned to the emotions and emotional states of others around them,
Mhm. Okay.
physically and emotionally, experiencing those feelings. The heightened sensitivity can enhance intuitive abilities, making empaths particularly adept to understanding and responding to subtle cues. And
Mhm.
most people with intuition, it's not so much what somebody else is saying to you.
Mhm.
You could read their facial expressions and then have a gut feeling or know something, whether it be looking at their eyes, the way they're speaking, their mannerisms, and it
Now,
brings your intuition height higher, if that
now,
makes sense.
interestingly enough, it does make sense, of course. But who, what, I was going to say what species, what sex is better at it?
Females,
Okay. Why?
females,
Why?
the blood flow to the brain. It's neuro. No, I know it. It's neuro.
I read this
You know
too.
what I'm talking about.
I
It's
do.
neuro
And
consciousness. I have
sounds
it in
good
my
to me.
notes.
Neuroconsciousness. Well, what it is actually is women are better at it because
Yeah,
men are brought up not to really um,
they're
read.
stupid.
Um, I didn't say that. Everybody, she did. Okay, you're gonna get us in trouble calling that species stupid. Now, we got a lot of comments coming in. First of all, we'll get back to this. But Karen says my first words to my ex-husband was, "You're not a very nice guy." Okay, that's a red flag there, Karen. Um, Mary says, "Yeah, but it's our biggest problem." And Mary says, "We sometimes dismiss it to get the desired outcome we want. It may not be the right way to go." Absolutely. But women, we are brought up to be more empathetic and read cues because we are more or less the um, caregivers and we're taking care of people. So therefore, we want to read cues so we know what to do or what to say next. Men have been raised to be that tougher, so to speak, and not ignore cues, but not really pay attention to the cues. And it's more looked at as women's intuition. It's a feminine thing as opposed to just plain old intuition. Isn't that interesting?
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. I was reading.
Okay.
I'm reading at the same time,
All right.
but it does
Okay.
make sense.
Okay.
You want to read Denise's? You want me to read it?
You can read it.
Story on the news tonight: a toll taker on the GSP, GSP
Grand
called.
Central, no, not Grand Central Parkway. Garden State Parkway. Garden State Parkway.
There we go.
Okay.
Called out of work because she had a bad feeling. She was right. A dump truck crashed into her toll booth that day.
Now is that
Ooh.
now is that ESP or is that intuition? Interesting. Because I think that I don't know, I really don't know the difference, but I think they could be one and the same. If anybody
I
wants
think
to check,
so.
yeah, I don't know. But I will say my bad choices against better judgment is sometimes I've dated somebody where I just knew, I said, this isn't going to amount to much. This isn't going to amount to much. Don't waste your time. Don't do it. Don't do it. This person is not for you. This person is not for you. And I did it. and I didn't follow my gut. But have you ever been part of something where somebody's telling you something and you can, all right, how am I going to say this? You can see the forest for the trees and you know that this isn't going to work out, but they are
Yeah.
so enwrapped with this person and talking about this person. I'm talking about a relationship right now that
Yep.
you can see it's not going to happen down the line. You just know because intuition is a knowing, it's a
Yeah.
feeling, but yet these people they just don't get it. I
Yeah.
I have a friend that dated a much younger woman, and he would say she's very mature. She was 20 years younger, and I thought, and I would tell him this isn't going to work. It's not, I felt like as a friend I had to be honest with him, and he dated her, and it didn't work out in the long run. But sometimes you have to let those people hit the brick wall, even though your intuition and your inner knowing is saying it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's just not going to work that way. So
Yeah, and they would probably be upset with you. Let them find out on their own.
yeah, absolutely. Another,
So
go ahead.
ESP and intuition are related concepts, but not the same.
Okay, does it say why?
ESP refers to the ability to acquire information without using the known physical senses or deducing it from previous experience.
So that
Intuition is the
okay.
ability to understand or know something immediately based on a feeling rather than factual reasoning. It's often considered a gut feeling
So
or
what
an
would that
instinct.
so
Huh?
what would that toll booth thing be? ESP or intuition then? That Denise said that she called off because
I
she had a bad feeling about that day.
a gut feeling. I think that's intuition.
Okay. All right. I still, even though you told me all that, it still sounds the same to me, right? Because
I mean, it's very similar.
yeah, that's what I thought. What about intuition kicking in? Say you're walking down the street and all of a sudden, like the back hair on the back of your neck kind of goes tingly, and you know something's wrong, but you haven't turned around yet. And maybe like a bad person is following you or something like that. So that's
Yeah.
your intuition kicking in, saying danger,
I'll tell
danger.
you a story. Okay.
Yes, please.
Back in the day, back in the 80s, my
Back in the
youth,
day.
I worked at the beach, North Shore
Okay.
Beach Association.
Uh-huh.
And I, you know, would check people's tags. You had to have a tag to get onto the beach. I'd
Okay.
sweep the steps, stuff like that. The lifeguard would be down a ways.
Hmm.
There was a particular day that was cloudy, so it wasn't a lot of beach people in the morning, right? So the lifeguard is like far enough for me. If I was to scream for help, she probably wouldn't have heard me. I'm
Oh.
looking up. I'm sitting on the beach. There's nobody there. It's cloudy. I'm a teenager. I was 15 when I started this job, and I just said to myself, "Look up." And up on the cliff was a guy naked with just a towel around his waist. That was one instance. And
Okay.
my eyes were closed. Like there's nobody on the beach. I was just a little cloudy, hazy day. I'm just like, I'm gonna get some sun while I'm working.
Hmm.
Then the second time, same situation, cloudy day. I'm on the beach. I'm sitting there. I'm waiting for people to arrive. And there's a gentleman that walks down from the parking area to the water. And then I said, just something's not right. Look up. He's coming straight at me.
Oh my
A
God.
scary looking man all by himself, like coming at me with intention. I ran. I ran to the next like section over. So
Mhm.
I think those are
That's
intuition
intuition
feelings.
kicking in. Okay. How did now when the intuition kicked in, did you get tingly? Did you get a gut feeling in your stomach?
Just
What
gut
kind of
feeling.
physical feeling? Okay, just a gut feeling because
Yeah.
do you know intuition? They say it's in the brain, but it's also connected to your stomach. Isn't that interesting? That
Yeah.
the gut is also considered. It's called your second brain, which I
Yeah.
found really
That's
fascinating.
probably why you get the butterflies,
Yeah,
you get
uh-huh.
nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I do know that when I'm stressed out, my stomach burns like nobody's business. Yeah. So, but where'd I see it? Okay.
Yes, Deb, I'm an empath. I feel everybody's emotions. I feel vibes. I I don't like crowds.
No.
I'm gonna tell you my secrets now, right here, right now, live. I don't. It's too much for me. We went into Walmart last night, and usually we go at a time of day where there's less people. There was so many people around me. I said, I this is too much for me. I said, there's too many people around me. It's too much. I don't like it. I'll
All
go
those
to a
energies.
concert. Yeah, I'll go to a concert, but I'll focus on the concert. But again, it's a lot of people. I'll do it. I'll go to an event that has a lot of people. I'll go places where there's a lot of people. I'm not a big fan of like going to bars at night, um, because there's more people.
Hmm.
Not that I go bar hopping anyway, but I generally don't. Yeah, and I can feel your energy. I can feel your vibe.
Hmm.
There's people, even people in family. You can feel their vibe, good and bad. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't
Deb
like it at all.
says too many people feels chaotic if you're sensitive. Yes, I agree. I got to tell a cool story. When I first
Mm.
met Lisa, we were on WLINY together, and she walked in the door, and instantly I said, "Hey," and she said, "Hey," and we liked each other. I would say within 3 seconds of meeting,
Yeah. Yep.
and then there were other vibes from other people that we just said, "Yeah, no." But
I'm gonna tell you. I don't remember. I have to tell you this. So I've been packing, as you know. I won't
yeah.
get into too much detail with that, but I've been packing. So I came across those rocks that somebody gave me. I'm like, I don't know if I should throw these out. Would something happen if I throw them out? I didn't throw them out.
Don't throw them out.
They're coming
Absolutely.
with me because I'm like, I don't know what's gonna happen if I throw them out.
No, do not throw them out.
See,
No.
my gut's telling me not to throw something out, even
Yep,
though
follow your gut.
I was given them by somebody with a different vibe.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You got to keep them. Oh my
They're
gosh, that's so
crystals,
funny.
the things. I don't know, they're
Yes, I
crystals
do.
or something, right?
Crystals. Yeah. What
Yeah,
color are they?
purple.
Amethyst.
Yeah. Is that good?
Pretty.
Bad?
That's good. That's good.
All right,
Yeah.
they're gonna come with me.
Get out in the sun and clear its energy. Mary knows about that. I know. I used to know about that. But let's see. Deb says she left the store yesterday for that reason because too many people feel chaotic. Absolutely.
Oh,
Um,
Mary, that's a good point. Concerts are okay because they're on the same, maybe that's why I don't get like so crazed.
yeah. Yeah, you're probably focusing on. I mean, okay, we were talking about Billy Joel concert at the beginning of the show, and talk about high vibes. Everybody's singing along, and everybody's having a good time. And I think that's why I was enjoying it so much because it's like it was just a high vibing type of time. And
Yeah.
then we cut it off. CBS, what did you do? But
I'm
anyway,
gonna rewatch it from the beginning. That's good to
yes,
know.
absolutely. Yes. I'll share that again if everybody just tuned in, except Debbie.
Well,
You don't listen. Deb, cover your ears because she, I won't even
n-
say it. But Billy Joel is going to be replayed April 19th on CBS 9 to 11. Yes.
Mike Mike Del Judas
Yes.
is now in his band. Danny's friends with him.
Really?
Yeah, he
I think
knows
he's a
him.
hottie bajati. I do.
He's hot stuff.
Yes.
But
Yes.
he had his cover band. I guess he still does.
Big
Big
shot.
Shot.
Yes,
Yeah,
but I think it's more known as Mike Del Gudish. I can't say his name,
Del
but I
Judas.
think it's more him and then the band. But
Yeah.
I've
So
seen him a
happy
number
for
of
him.
times. He's really good. He's so talented. He does not. Hey, we're plugging this guy now, but he does something music on the porch or live on the porch
Yeah.
on Facebook, and his
He
voice is
sounds
beautiful.
like Billy Joel.
Yes, he does. And so, hey, Billy Joel, we're giving you a plug, just saying. And Mike. So, anyway, um, have you ever made decisions, very serious decisions, like buying a house, buying a car, leaving a relationship based on intuition only? Have you ever done that? Interesting.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
Because there are people that I have known that just said, I've walked into this house, it wasn't my house, I wouldn't, and then, they'd see another house, and another house, another house, but then they walk into this certain house and they say, this is it. They just feel right in this house, and
Yeah.
that's their intuition kicking in. So, have you ever
Yeah.
done anything like that?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess just recently. Yeah.
You know, okay. Now, yes, you did. Oh, well, um, Lisa is moving back to Florida, and so we'll talk about that in a little while. But why is female intuition so much stronger in midlife as opposed to younger people?
Because
Why?
you have wisdom.
You beat me to it. Okay, yeah, you've gotten older and have a lot more experience. You have a lot more experience.
You got a lot more experience, a lot more wisdom. You've grown, yet sometimes you still
Hopefully,
make mistakes and not listen to your intuition.
yes. The times I have not listened to my intuition, things have not worked out. It's just not worked out. And
Yeah.
the times I have, things have worked out even better, which is really cool. But
Yeah.
has your intuition ever been wrong? Intuition versus overthinking. How do you know the difference? How do
It's
you know the
true.
difference?
I
Because,
think I probably have been wrong at times, but should I admit that? I don't want to admit that.
well, who wants to admit they're wrong? But the thing is when are you being paranoid and overthinking something as opposed to intuition? How do you learn to trust it?
You have to let go of the emotion, cut all the emotion out of it.
And how do you do that?
Treat it like a business deal.
Oh, keep going. Okay, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Like,
Okay.
for instance, like during a divorce, there's emotion. The years spent with that person, if
Uh-huh.
there's children,
Ah.
parenting and scheduling,
Hmm.
and if the other person is just a jerk, you have to treat it like a business deal. Cut the
Okay.
emotion out of it and,
Hmm.
write out a business plan.
Well, we've got some good comments coming here that as we age, Deb says we grow more aware. Mary says overthinking is convincing yourself. I agree.
Mhm.
And Deb says then overthinking becomes anxiety. I agree. And Mary says let it go, which is good. Sometimes you got to just let go of outcome and go with your intuition. Just say, okay, whatever's going to be is going to be.
Mhm.
But again, mere mortals, mere human beings, we overthink everything.
Yeah,
And it's
we
just like,
compli
well, what's
we
this?
complicate it.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes, it's really hard. Is everything just black and white, or is there a lot of gray matter in between? And I think a lot of times there's a lot of gray matter in between, and that's what happens when you overthink. And then you have to go back, is it black or is it white? It's like a little dance you do in your head that it's just like, ooh, you
You
know?
should just, go with your first thought, your first decision. Don't overthink it. Because think about
Uh-huh.
it. I mean, I don't know what everybody believes in, not to get into like, religious stuff. I mean, I'm not like overly, religious, but I pray and stuff like that. Think about it. If God is the one that's in charge of all the puzzle pieces of your life, and then you're overthinking something, your intuition is one with God and what he has in store for you because maybe he doesn't see what's going on down the road. So you overthinking it and going with a decision that you really shouldn't be going with, he was trying to avoid you going through that.
I agree.
Does that make any sense at all?
It did, and I followed you. Yes, it did. It made a lot of sense, actually. It just boils down to let it go. You're right. You're right.
Let it go and give it up to God.
Deb says the doctor once told me you make an emotional decision that usually doesn't end well. True. And he said give the decision 6 months. That's having blind faith, trusting God has a plan. That's Deb. Karen says free will can get in the way. Okay, that's interesting. And Deb says we are never truly in control. I would agree with that as well. I would agree. But learning to trust your intuition, how do we do that on a regular basis? What do you do? How do you learn to trust it? Just say, okay, I'm trusting you, intuition, higher self, gut feeling. What? I mean, how do you
Yeah.
trust it? I mean, after a while, I think as you get older, you just kind of know what's going to work and what's not going to work. But still, I think it can be a really challenging thing to do.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is to that.
I don't either. So
I
sometimes,
just wing it. I wing everything in life.
but I think sometimes it's good to wing it because then you're letting go and trusting, and you're
Yeah.
not holding on to the outcome.
Yeah.
Okay. Mary says prayers go out to the universe. Intuition is incoming messages from the universe. Mary, wouldn't you call those downloads? Just saying. So, well, Mary gets downloads from the universe, which I think is pretty cool.
I love that.
Yes. Deb says, whenever I've gotten a bad vibe about someone, the person we use does show their true colors. Yes,
Mhm.
I would agree with that too. I would agree.
Yeah.
Uh,
Feeling somebody's vibe. You can
Now,
100%.
what if somebody's dating somebody, and which I did, and I told them, listen, this is not a good idea. This person is not for you. Da 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 da. Back and forth, and they respect my opinion, but you just know they're going to really hit that brick wall. What do you do? Like seriously hit a brick wall. Like this is a very bad idea for you to do this. What do you do? Do you harp on it? Do you let it go? I mean, you're seeing somebody really going to hit a brick wall. Do you let it go, or
You
do you bring
you
it up
talk
again?
about it. No, you
Yeah.
talk about it. You express your feelings, your thoughts, your concerns. And then if they decide that they're going to still do, whatever it is that they want to do, you got to let them just do it.
Okay. Now I'm going to ask you something interesting. Um, so when you told these people that it didn't work out, it's not going to work out, it's not going to work out. You're saying it in a more tactful way. I'm just saying it, just to get it out to
Yeah.
everybody. Not going to work, not going to work. Okay, okay. Have you ever done and I told you so? Raise your hand.
No, I don't know.
Yes, I have. I have. I said, told you. Oh, did you listen?
Yeah.
Yes, I have. I have. I cannot tell why I have. I kind of say it nicely, but then again, sometimes I don't. It's like, I told you. You didn't listen.
Yeah.
Okay. I can be empathetic just like everybody else. Deb says, no,
Yeah.
I don't do I told you so.
You
Okay. No.
you could do it on the inside.
No, no, I kind of did. I did. I
I
did. I did.
I thought
Because,
this was interesting. I'm going to pivot a little.
okay, pivot.
In astrology,
Yes.
Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer are credited with having the highest intuition.
I would agree
The
with that.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm a Scorpio.
Why?
I'm
Okay.
a Scorpio. And
I'm
I
gonna
can read people pretty well. I can tell when they're full of crap and when they're being genuine.
I'm gonna read yours then.
Oh,
Danny's a Cancer.
okay.
Okay, Scorpio. Scorpios are said to possess a powerful intuition when it comes to reading people and situations. Their intuitive abilities are often linked to their desire to understand deep hidden truths and to see beyond the surface. Scorpios can intuitively grasp the underlying motivations and secrets of others. Cancer. As the nurturers of the zodiac, Cancers are highly sensitive to their environments and the feelings of those around them. Their intuition is closely tied to their empathetic nature, allowing them to intuit emotional currents and needs. Cancer's intuition often serves them in protecting themselves and others emotionally. I thought that was interesting. I'm not on this list. I don't understand it. I'm not on
Oh,
the list.
sorry. Well,
But that
Danny, hi,
Oh,
Danny.
did
I
he
have a
hear me?
question for you, Danny. Yeah,
Did
yeah,
he
Danny just
did
came on.
Did you hear you're
I
considered
think
in
he did.
astrology high intuitive person?
Danny, are you a high intuitive person? And do you think
I
women
think so.
are more intuitive than men? Go. Actually, we should just get him on.
He's probably going to say yes, and he's wrong.
Okay. All right. Mary says anybody can develop it, just a matter if they choose to. Hi, Danny. Hi, Danny. Hi, Mary. Okay. Yvonne says yes, good intuition. Oh, yes. Yvonne is a fellow Scorpio. Yes, I would agree with that, dear.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But
If anybody's a Pisces, if you want, I'll read yours because I have it in front of me.
no, I've got a Sagittarius here. I've got oh my gosh, I'm trying. It's Sagittarius, a Scorpio. Let's see. I can't remember the other girls. They're going to kill me. Please forgive. Okay. But Danny, I want to know, do you think women are more intuitive than men? And do you think women are more intuitive because they are forced to be more empathic in the roles that they play in general life? Oh, look, Denise is an Aries, Mary's a Taurus. I'm not
You
surprised you're
didn't
a Taurus, Mary.
you ladies didn't make the list, sorry.
You made the cut, girls. Sorry. Sorry.
I didn't
So,
either, but
so can Danny come on for a couple questions?
I'm not sure. Oh,
He'll jump on for
hold
this.
on.
No, thank you. Okay, good. All
All
right.
right. I'll send you the link in Facebook Messenger. Hold on.
Okay, here we go. I'm curious to see what he says. Okay. The question, well, I'll wait till he gets on, and then that's the question. Well, I have the question. Did you guys remember the question? Okay. I remember the
Do
question,
you
not the
think
word.
women or men are more intuitive?
Yes. I think women have to be because those were their roles. And I think we automatically, as being more empathetic and softer than men, so to speak, I think women tend to be. But I'd like to see what he has to say.
I think
What do you think?
women who are oh, I'll let him be on for this. All right, before you answer, Danny, I
I
think
mean,
women sometimes are more intuitive and maybe tend to think about it a little bit more because they're protecting themselves too. That could be it.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
yeah, we can hear you. We thought
All
it was
right.
good.
All right. So here's the thing about intuitive. Okay. When you're, I'm gonna read the definition right here because I think it's important because a lot of people really think intuitive means something else. But this is the basic definition of intuitive.
Okay.
Using or based on what one feels to be true, even without conscious reasoning. Instinctive. Now, in some cases I am intuitive. Other cases it's good to be realistic. It's good to be optimistic, but it's also good to be realistic. In some cases, somebody's intuitiveness really sometimes makes them look real stupid because
Wow.
they believe so hard into it that it's such a real that they go ahead and avoid any kind of rational reasoning. Now, it doesn't happen all the time, but there's some people out there that believe that they are so intuitive and clearly they have no sort
I
of
know
conscious
some.
reasoning, you know.
I know some people like that. Yeah. Okay.
So
Yeah.
that I wanted to say that because when you asked me that before, I'm like, I think I'm intuitive, but there's a point where you can be when you're like, you know what, maybe I could be wrong, you know. But depending on the circumstances and things of that nature. But I think I am intuitive, absolutely. I think as you get older, you tap into more of that. Um, but
I
some,
think he sees there's in certain situations, especially work-wise, he could see something miles down the
yeah,
road that's common. That I will say, like,
yeah, that
shoot, he was right about this one.
like
He was
I could
right about
see
that one.
10 or 15 plays before they happen down there. That's me being intuitive because of
Yeah.
experience or because of things that I've done in my past and things of that nature. I know I can read people very, very well. I mean, I'm usually the one that sits in a room, and if I hear you talk more than 5 minutes, I pretty much got you nailed. You know?
Okay. Oh, all right. But my question is it's women's intuition.
Yep.
I've never ever heard of men's intuition because I feel like men are, it's considered a feminine thing. But I think men, such as yourself, can be just as intuitive as women, but they don't get the chance because it's looked upon as a feminine trait.
You know what? I mean, me personally, I think that. I mean, coming
It's
from who, you know?
hogwash.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I think I think guys are I don't think so. I think there's guys out there that are very. I don't think me personally. I don't care what gender, you know, or whatever, or you know, if it's a girl thing or not. You know, I think
Here
I
it is.
think yeah.
Okay, hang on. It says men and intuition. Um, Contrary to common belief, it's not just women who harbor this mysterious instinct. Men can be powerfully intuitive. They have the same capabilities of women, but in our culture, we view intuition as something that's warm and fuzzy and not masculine, so that men have often lost touch with those feelings. American women, on the other hand, are encouraged to be receptive to their inner thoughts, so it appears that they have more intuition. The reality is, girls are praised for being sensitive, while boys are urged to be more linear in their thinking rather than listening to their feelings. I think that's changing, but a lot. I do think that's true.
Yeah, I think nowadays, I mean, guys used to be stereotyped that way years ago. I think like giving again, men in the 50s and 60s, yes, without a doubt. But I think as time goes on, all right, I think guys are a little more emotionally involved in things and don't have to walk around like a tough guy all the time and nothing bothers
Hmm.
them and stuff like that. Me personally,
Hmm.
I don't think I do that. Um, but again, being intuitive, it depends on circumstance and what you're doing. What do and your background a little bit, I guess. If you're never in business, you can't be intuitive about business.
I
You know,
think
just
men are intuitive regarding danger because it's like a protective of their spouse, their partner,
Okay.
because intuition's not just one thing. It could be many things. If we're walking down the street at night in an unfamiliar area that we're like traveling to or whatever, he's going to
Hmm.
make sure he's casing the place out, that
yeah,
Okay.
nothing happens to either one of us. Does
yeah,
that
Okay.
make sense?
yeah,
Well,
and
Deb Killeen says, guys, don't take it so seriously. Deb says, my husband, like most people, when he didn't like someone, you should heed his warning. I agree. I agree with that. I
yeah,
definitely agree with that. Yes.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah. I agree
Mary
with that.
says something is hooey. What's hooey, Mary? Hooey baby. What are you not buying, Mary? Type it up. I'm sorry, Danny. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry, hon.
No, no, no. I was just reading some of the comments. My husband, like most people, he didn't like someone. You should heed his warning. Yeah, I mean, I guess I believe in that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there are people that I've met from the get go, like within seconds, going,
Yep.
I don't want you.
Yeah, the bad vibes. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
there's something
That goes.
there.
That goes back to if I just, if I sit down and I listen to other people talk, I'll know which ones I just don't like.
Right.
Because you can just tell. They can't
Hmm.
hide it. They can't help themselves. Um, but yeah, it's intuition. It's again, it's weird because would you consider gut feelings intuition?
Yes.
I think it's the same, but
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
All right. So let's that's all right. So I want to go a little more today. I mean, gut. I mean,
Okay.
gut feelings. Could be right a lot, but they also could be wrong sometimes. That goes back to conscious reasoning. You know. I knew it. I knew it. I knew that was
No. No.
gonna
At the
happen.
beginning, before you came on, like I said, without saying too much, we you have a gut feeling about with work.
Yeah.
Have an agent come on that in the back of your mind you're like,
Yeah.
not a good idea, but you did it anyway because you were, really trying to help the agent out. You saw the bigger picture. Maybe
Yeah.
they had a family, this, that, the other thing, whatever the case may
I know
be.
what you're
Maybe they were
saying. Yeah.
struggling. You wanted to, show them the way and, have them follow your lead, and it didn't
Yeah.
work out.
Yeah. That's one thing about intuition is sometimes you don't want to believe it because you do want to help somebody in some cases.
So you go against it.
You go against
Your
it
first
because
instinct is, no, I shouldn't do this, but I'm
yep,
going to do it anyway because
you just want
I'm
to help
really a
somebody.
big, giant, mushy teddy bear.
or
So,
or just a sucker, one or the other. Yeah.
so a question for that then, Danny, was it like, okay, I don't think this person's going to work out, but I'm going to give him a chance, or was it really
Uh,
screaming at you like, "Don't do this,"
well,
and
that's
you ignored it? So
there's
how strong was
yeah.
the feeling?
Well, there's two answers to that question, and and sometimes it's a character defect on my behalf because when I was younger, nobody gave me a shot. So that
Mm,
influences my decision making sometimes because you know what, nobody gave me a shot. I wish somebody gave me a shot. So that's like embedded in my DNA, and it's a really a defective gene that I have because it really gets me in trouble a lot. So
mm,
when I talk to somebody and things of that nature, there's always a voice in the back of my head, "Don't do it, don't do it." And I'm like, you know what? You got to give somebody a chance. You know, I used to believe in, you know, if you give, if somebody's, I don't want to say the word screw, but if you know somebody was going to succeed the 101st time, would you give them 100 chances? And the
mm.
old me would be like, yeah, you know, because that's all it takes. I mean, Edison's, you know, failed 10,000 times before the light bulb went on.
Right.
So that was always my mentality and how I always want to go out and help people. But I also realized that's 100 times and I'm going to get, and that's going to hurt, you know? So I'm a little more, Lisa is very structured that way. Like she fills that gap that I don't have. Like me, I would hire everybody and fire nobody, you know, and be bankrupt in a week. You know what I mean? Because I want to help everybody. And Lisa's like, no, cut them out. So my intuition when it comes to something like that, it's gotten a lot better. But again, that voice in the back of my head screams, "Don't do it, don't do
He's
it,
he's
Scream.
don't do it."
he's ignored it quite a few times.
And I've gotten burned 100% of the time. Never once did it work out. Never once. And all it does is cause me aggravation.
So
So
now you would follow your intuition. Say if you were
yeah,
interviewing somebody, now you'd be thanks, but no thanks.
first vibe, nah, it's okay. I'll get back to you. Maybe. See ya.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
wouldn't do that. Yeah, so that's stuff like that.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's that part. Yeah, so that's a kind of situation that you know intuition in some cases could really hurt me. But
Okay.
Yeah,
you know, I
Okay.
don't
that's
listen
where
to
you
too much.
had me. Like, nope.
Yeah.
See, I don't. I can. And you know this, Helen, from experience, and not to bring up, not to be negative or anything, but I can totally shut out a whole
Yes.
human being
Hmm.
and not not mean harm, not mean ill will, just I'm not gonna put anybody through this,
Right.
that, the other.
Hmm.
Um, and I think that's intuition. Like, you have to go with your gut. If something's telling you, you have to, just step back, be quiet. That's
Absolutely.
what you do.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, sometimes my gut's wrong. I admit that. I'm trying to think of times. I'm sure Danny can.
Ooh, zinger.
Because I didn't
I tease her all the time. I
I
tease
didn't
her all the
listen.
time.
No, I have sometimes my gut feelings. I'm right a lot of the times, probably more than wrong. Just saying.
Yeah.
Well, I think you have to learn to trust your
Yeah.
intuition, and
Yeah.
sometimes it can be a real challenge because I
Yeah.
overthink everything, even when my gut's saying don't do it, don't, bad idea, don't do it. I'll overthink it, and then I'll ignore my intuition, ignore that gut feeling, and then the times I've ignored the gut
That's
feeling,
that's
that's when I've
dangerous.
gotten an ass whooping. And I'm
That's yep.
going,
That's
yeah,
dangerous. I mean, the whole see, I'm opposite of that. I don't overthink at all.
really?
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't. Right, Lisa? Do I over?
He's
I'm a
instant.
big I'm a
I'm
big
like,
believer in Yeah, good.
he doesn't marinate on anything.
No, I don't want to. I
Just
want it
make a
done
decision
yesterday,
now and
and
go.
I'm a big believer in it's better to make a wrong decision than not make a decision at
Right.
all. A bad decision is better than an indecision. That's in my opinion, because at least you learn something. You don't sit there
well,
in
I kind
neutral
of
stuck.
agree.
You
I,
know.
I kind of agree with you.
You
I
know.
do kind of agree with you, but again, then I'd be like,
Marinate.
marinate. Yeah, I
Yep.
love that phrase.
Let
I
me
love
let,
that.
let me tell you what marinate does. It spurs procrastination
No,
subconsciously. Now you're marinating in everything. Everything's
no,
tomorrow. Everything's next week. Everything's next
no.
month. Eh,
Procrastination is procrastination. Marinating, completely different. You're
no, no,
intermingling
no,
two different
no.
things
I
there,
understand, but
buddy.
if you do it often,
No,
it rolls over into something else, and then all of a
no.
sudden you're just a procrastinator because you're
Don't
marinating
agree.
on everything.
Mary, what are you agreeing with? No. So
I agrees with
marinating,
Danny.
I love you, Mary. Marinating if you're faced with a decision, a crossroad, this is going to happen if you go this way, or this is going to happen when you go that way, you marinate on that, and you marinate on that as long as you need. If you need 24 hours or a week, you
Right.
marinate on it so that way, let let it sink in and make your decision. And you're going to all laugh at me, and I don't care. I write pros and cons down on a piece of paper like I was taught back in the day.
I don't
That
think
is how
anything's
you
wrong with that.
marinate.
Here's the thing: you let a steak marinate too long, it tastes like shit. Sorry, take that back. I didn't mean to say that.
And on
No,
that note,
Sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
no,
Sorry, I
you're
shouldn't have
all
fine.
cursed.
right, it's
No,
okay. It's all right.
yeah. Well,
Decide-
you just
Mary,
marinate.
Mary says decide quick and let it happen. Agree with Danny. Deb says don't be impulsive. Deb says marinating tastes better. Mary still agree with Danny. Karen says wish them well and move on. And then Karen wrote, what Edison miss in those 100 times? Maybe something else and better. Okay. Wow. Okay.
How many times with your decision did it work out if you marinated on it or you made an instant impulse decision? Which one worked out better?
Well,
It
For
took a
me, when
hot
I
minute
marinate,
to
when I marinated on it, but initially, when you're marinating on something, eventually, I think your intuition kicks in and says this is the correct decision to go to.
see, I think your first thought is always the right one. And if you
I agree
overthink
with that
things,
too.
you start to have this conversation with yourself, and then
Yeah.
the voice that you should be listening is talking you out of what you should be doing, and then before you know it, you're confused. And again, marinating on things like like in a relationship tends to be when you're over emotional, probably nothing good coming out of that. You take two steps back, you marinate a little bit, you think about it, and maybe that's good for that particular circumstance. Other situations, though, I believe marinating is no good at all. At all.
Mary says procrastination is fear of moving forward. Karen says my intuition says to marinate because whatever I decide will work out. I like that too.
Yeah.
So we've got a mixed bag here for all of that.
Yeah.
But learning to trust your intuition, I think, is a really good thing. But I do
Yeah.
believe that marinating for a little bit. I'm like conflicted between the two of you because I do believe with Danny that instantly when somebody gives you a situation, instantly you're going to know like yes, no,
Yeah.
but then you marinate on it a little bit just to say the pluses and the minuses, but then you come back to your intuition and say, okay, this is what I've decided, and or this is what I
Yeah.
feel inside is right, not decided, this is what I feel inside, and then you go from there.
Pros and cons. Yeah.
Pros and cons.
Yeah.
All
Lisa,
right.
we did it
Yeah.
again. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Thanks, Danny. Thanks
No
for
problem.
chiming in. Thank
No
you very
problem.
much.
No
It's good
problem.
to see you.
Yeah. You
So
too.
next week there's no show, right?
Yes,
Because
Passover.
Passover.
Yes,
The 29th is going to be how the rules of dating have changed.
yes,
So that's the 29th.
yes.
And you can find us on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, Google Podcast, Pocket Cast, and Radio Public.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for
Thank
thanks
you.
for sharing with everything. A lot of insight tonight. Thank you.
No problem. See you guys
Thank you.
later.
Bye.
Bye.
See you soon.